Let's have some fun with gravity, shall we? Again, I don't know how I got on this Professor Dave's YouTube channel thing. Obviously, their YouTube is very happy to promote this guy. I don't get it, but whatever. So his whole argument about gravity, I guess he doesn't know the new gravity, which is the bending of space-time. Anyway, so gravity, according to Professor Dave, is such a big ball, the Earth, that everything sticks to it because it has massive gravitational pull because we're so big. So just, I mean, think how absurd that is. So, we know everything doesn't stick to it. A helium balloon doesn't stick to it. You know, if you jumped into water, you're not going to fall into the bottom of the ocean unless you removed your lungs. So we know density is more important than Dave's fanciful gravitational pull. But it just you don't even have to think about this. There's a song by Clutch, Slow Hole to China. So let's say you dug a slow hole to China. All right, you dug a slow hole to China. Because, you know, if you had a hole, let's say I'm walking by and there's a hole in the ground. Timmy fell in the hole, right, Lassie? Just as an FYI, my friends, apparently that never happened. Timmy never fell in the well. Isn't that crazy? Timmy did not fall into the well. We all know he fell into the well. Apparently that's not true. Apparently in Lassie, if you ever watch it, which I'm not going to take the time, I trust the people who say this, Timmy no longer fell in the well. I could not believe when I heard that, because Timmy always fell in the well. All right, so I'm Timmy, I'm walking by a well, and I'm looking at my phone, I fall into it. Why do I fall? According to Professor Dave, the gravitational force of the Earth is pulling me down. All right, so where is it pulling me exactly, Dave? It's pulling me to the center of the Earth, where the gravitational pull stops? Well, I don't get it. So we hit finally the center of the Earth, all right? And I'm stuck there because there's this magic ball in the center of the Earth which just pulls everything towards it, I suppose. All right, so now we're going to keep digging. We're going to keep digging a slow hole to China. You know, we're going to use machines that can, avoid gravitational pull. So we go through the middle of the Earth, and now we're going against gravity and going up to China. All right, so now we finally have this hole. So according to Dave, because the Earth's gravitational pull, if I'm sitting here in Georgia and I fall through that hole, right, where do I stop? Where do I stop? Remember, we got a slow hole to China. The whole thing is just completely a hole. A guy in Beijing, what's the Earth, 10,000 miles or something like that, whatever it is. It's sitting there. We got a big telescope. We're looking at each other. He's on the bottom, I'm on the top. He's on the side, I'm on the other. It doesn't matter. We're looking at each other. And he falls, and I fall. Do we somehow just float at the epicenter of the gravitational pull? We're both just sitting there saying high-fiving. We meet halfway. So there's like this apex of the gravitational pull. Obviously, we're dropping at, 8 meters per second squared or so? I don't even know what the hell it is. The gravitational pull. So we just meet in the middle. And we just float in the air. Because remember, the gravitational pull, literally, because there is a hole, I drop into it, the gravitational pull pulls me until someplace down below. The apex of gravity. Oh, but Josh, there's no more. It's the mass of the Earth. Just think how absurd this is. It's the mass of the Earth that's pulling me towards it. And because there's no more mass, I'll keep going down through and I'll end up in China. This guy will keep going down and through and end up in the United States. What? That makes no sense. Think this through. Well, so basically Professor Dave and all these other people who believe in this thing called gravity, and again, gravity has changed now. Can't prove it, but it's changed. Say it's a massive, because Earth's so big, it pulls things to it. The Earth, the sun, the moon, all this stuff is silly. But be it as it may. So, Mr. Chinese guy, Mr. American guy, we just fall through this little hole. And we meet halfway. We high five. He keeps going down. Now he's in Georgia. I keep going down. Now I'm in China. because gravitational pull. That doesn't make any sense. Because now I'm being pushed from the center of the earth into China. He's being pushed from the center of the earth to Georgia. All right? Part two, the only other option would be neither of us fall because there is no gravitational pull, because there's no earth underneath us because we dug this little hole. Neither of us fall. So we walk over it. We just continue to walk over it. Because the thing that's pulling us is actual ground, the actual physical mass, and there's no more mass because we dug us a hole. Well, that doesn't, so we're walking on air? That doesn't make any sense. All right, so part three would be what? We just sit there and we're in the middle, just hanging out. We're flying, floating in the air, essentially, just floating there. Just not being able to move. Probably can't move our arms to high five. So we're just sitting there floating because we're at the apex of the gravitational force. So where does that occur? Right there, the dead center there, Dave, and all you guys, where does that occur? Just think how absurd. So literally, you can float. Was it transcend? When the magicians lift themselves up. I forgot what the word's called. You know what I'm talking about. So we're just, being the Chinese guy, just sitting there, center mass, floating, never to be seen of again, unless the machine goes down there and yanks us against gravity, a la the Apollo missions. If that doesn't make you think, I don't know what does, man. I just think it's funny. And the reason I think it's the whole point about this is somehow this guy came across my channel, and he's such an ass. I'm like, you remind me of the climate change people, the vax people. Same people, man. The anti-firearms people. Just using emotions and condescending tones. And anytime people start arguing like this, I know they have limited skill set. It's like the climate change people. If you argue with them, like they said on Judy Curry over here at Georgia Tech, because she's a woman, because she doesn't agree with a model, she literally whored herself out. If you have to call an distinguished professor who had literally written a book on thermodynamics a whore because she disagrees with your theory, you're nuts. If you have to say someone who challenges the jabba jabbas when the evidence is not on your side, and in fact is so against you, and this is even before CV-19, and you say that, oh, you must want people to DIE, you're nuts. If you have to use, you want people to get killed because you advocate for the Second Amendment, if that's your argument, you're nuts. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're just pulling stuff out of your butt to use as a bludgeon. Sadly, we know for a fact a lot of people follow bullies. Why? Because they don't want to get bullied. I just laugh my butt off. I'd love to hear the answer. Slow hold to China. How's it go? Mom always said, that's the way it goes, stuck in the mud of a slow hole. Isn't it weirdo too, by the way? All this, I'm walking, as you can tell. I got my new headphones on. These Apple ones are so much better, so much more comfortable than my other ones. Hopefully the audio in this is good. Isn't it interesting, though, that we haven't even explored the middle of our Earth, haven't hardly explored at all the ocean bottoms, yet we're very keen on spending money to go to space, yet our own Earth that we live on here, we're completely ignorant about. It's almost like, why? Well, because you can't validate what they're doing up there in the space. Could we validate what they're doing here? Absolutely. And so if they're wasting money on their space exploration, well, how can I prove that they are? I can't. And so we'll just keep playing the game. Keep making the money. Hey, man, you guys think I'm crazy. I don't care. I don't care. When I got out of my corporate job and I started having time to think, it was the best thing ever for a thinking person. You're like, wait a second. Everything I've been told doesn't make sense. Everything I'm told doesn't make sense. I challenge everything. I don't have the answers for a lot of this crap. I don't, but I find it interesting to challenge and to question. Remember, they used to say, the libs used to say, question authority. You rage against the machine. I won't do what you told you. And I was like, don't ever question authority and do what they told you. It's crazy, man. I question it all. And you should too.